This lecture covers development from fertilization through birth. Prefertilization is the first stage of sexual reproduction, and there are a number of prefertilization events. A sperm cell has to travel a very treacherous path to get to the egg cell, and most of them get no closer than 5 inches away. The acidic environment of the vagina destroys many sperm cells. There's also a cervical mucus plug that stops millions more. The uterus destroys millions. Only a few thousand sperm cells reach the uterine tubes. The second stage of sexual reproduction is fertilization, and it is marked by the uniting of the sperm cell with an egg cell. This animation illustrates the process of fertilization, which usually occurs in the ampulla of the uterine tube. This is a microscopic slide of a human zygote. It is the result of the union of an ovum, which is an egg cell, and a sperm cell. It remains a zygote until it begins to divide. So a zygote is a one-celled organism. At the point at which it begins to divide, the zygote becomes an embryo. It contains the genetic material from both parents. In order to predict when conception can occur, it's important to remember a couple of facts. You need to know when the egg and sperm are released and how long they're viable. The egg is viable for about 12 to 24 hours after it's released. Sperm cells viable for a little bit longer, 24 to 72 hours after ejaculation. So when you take these two things into consideration, you should be able to predict when a woman can become pregnant, and that's from 3 days before ovulation to 1 day after ovulation, a total of about 5 days. Here is a picture of a zygote dividing for the first time. Remember, a zygote is a one-celled organism, so when it divides, the result is a two-celled organism. When each of those two cells divides, the result is a 4-cell stage. You can see that in the picture on this slide. The next division should result in the 8-cell stage seen here on this slide. This slide and the next show you some of the various stages of development, beginning with the 28-day fetus, followed by the 6-week fetus and the 8-week fetus. Here is a 14-week fetus, a 24-week fetus, and a 36-week fetus. The following slide is that of an 11-week aborted fetus. It's very graphic, and you may choose not to view this. This abortion occurred during the first trimester of pregnancy. The next slide is that of a 21-week fetus born prematurely. The length of a normal pregnancy is 40 weeks. This is graphic, and you may not want to view this. At 21 weeks, the baby now weighs about 3/4 of a pound and is approximately 10.5 inches long. During this time, the initial fluttering movements will begin to turn into full-fledged kicks and nudges. The next slide is that of a 24-week fetus born prematurely. It is graphic, and you may not want to view this. The baby is most active between 24 and 28 weeks and weighs about 1.3 pounds at this point. It's about the size of an ear of corn. At 24 weeks, the baby would be considered viable with a chance of survival if they're born prematurely. This baby was a 38 to 40 week fetus. At 40 weeks, usually the baby is more than ready to be delivered, and mama feels the same way. On average, baby is about 20 inches long and weighs between 6 and 8 pounds, which is a healthy weight. At this point, the baby's vision will have developed enough to see about 2.5 centimeters, so they won't be able to see much of your face at birth. They will, however, be able to recognize the sound of your voice and your partner's if you've been talking to them over the last few weeks of pregnancy. Ultrasound is one method of following the progress of fetal development. Following are some slides with 3D and 4D ultrasounds. 3D ultrasounds show still pictures of your baby in 3 dimensions. 4D scans show moving 3D images of the baby, so time is the 4th dimension. This and the next slide show pictures of the baby both before and after birth. Isn't it amazing how similar these pictures are? This 4D ultrasound shows the movement of the baby putting its foot in its mouth. Please read the story on this page and then view the picture on the following slide. This is a picture of the baby gripping the doctor's finger and holding on. Below is an animation of childbirth. Please click on the link to view the video.